Alright, so I just wanted to go into depth about this board game that I made. Uh, I called it The Legacy of Greed, and I've played it with 11 people so far, and everyone that has said it or played it has said that it's very fun. And out of a scale of 1 to 10 rating, uh, the lowest any one of those people has given it is 8. And this is it right here. The Legacy of Greed. And basically, I combined Monopoly, which is, I think just about everybody knows that game. So if you played Monopoly, you will pick up an understanding of this game rather quickly. And I also combined it with Magic the Gathering, and Warhammer. And basically, your Lego characters, you can pick between 7 different colors, and these are stations. They're like houses in Monopoly, but then you can upgrade them to station expansions, and then these round ones are business generators. So that means when you land on the square, you collect money. But each property has its own unique ability. I called them mutant abilities because only that property has that ability. And I'll show you. There's casinos. This one, you can gamble. It's like one person writes down a number, and then the other person 1 through 10, and then the other person tries to guess it, and then the other game is 5-card Monty. So it's kind of like the casino in National Lampoon, Vegas Vacation. And then this is where you buy spells. You can buy drugs in the park. And then this casino, the Luxor, you can play either war or blackjack. So it's like real casino. Someone else, of course, one of the other players deals, since they're both really easy games. This is the lottery. In order to win the lottery in this game, you say a number out loud, and you look down while someone else holds this little bucket, numbers 1 through 100 in it, and you look down and you pick a number out of there, and if you get the number that you announced before you reached in there, you get all the money in the money pit. Money winds up in the money pit by landing on blown money, being jumped in an alley, losing your wallet, and squares like that. So, but there's good squares too. There's bank error and tax return. So it's not all just being fucked in the ass. But, so there's other things in this game. There's a big health sheet, and the properties, since you're a Lego guy, and Legos are very versatile, you can buy things like pets at the pet shop. Pets you can buy a dog, a bird, and a monkey. You can find stuff in the city dump. Roll a 20-sided dice. 1 through 15, you don't find anything. 16, you find a hat. 17, you find a bat. 18, you find a gold nugget. I think that's... Oh, and 19, you find a wig. And then at Target, you can buy things like motorcycle helmets, backpack. At the gun store, of course, you can buy bows and arrows, shotgun, rocket launcher, and you keep track of all of this stuff on this sheet right over here. And this is the part. This is my magnum opus of board games because it's really complex and there's a lot of different things to invest money in, but it's really simple, and it doesn't take long to catch on to, unless of course you've never played Monopoly, Magic the Gathering, or Warhammer. Which so far I haven't showed this game to anybody who hasn't played. I think everyone has played Monopoly. So when you buy a firearm, you write down how much the firearm you bought and the ammunition that it has. Of course, you can buy armor. Armor has health. This is the firearm right here. Weapons, you can buy swords and knives and all kinds of stuff like that. And then you can keep track of your damage dealt and your damage received. Track lapse. Every time you pass the checkpoint over here, which would also be known as go on Monopoly, you get a slightly larger increase in money and materia, which would be mana in Magic the Gathering. I didn't put land in this game, so it would just be easier to just have materia as the mana. So you keep track of your laps. If you bought gold, your gold value goes up when you get past there. So that's one way of making money. You can turn your gold in at any vendor during your turn. And then you can up things at these places. Certain properties like the gym, the dojo, Taekwondo dojo, Naked Edge Cutlery, and stuff like that. You can upgrade things. Wizardry level, firearms accuracy, you upgrade that at the shooting range. Blade mastery, martial arts, strength, and these all do things that you add to your damage or your defense. Transportation level means, like, if you buy a car or a bike, or you own one of the railroads, bullet train, monorail. So there's just a few ways to up your transportation. You start off rolling 2 4-sided dice. So the farthest you can get is 8. When you up your transportation level to 1, you can then choose to roll between a 4 and a 6. If you up it to level 2, you can roll with 2 6-sided dice. Level 3, you can then choose to roll with an 8 and a 6. Level 4, you can roll with 2 8. Level 5, you can roll with an 8 and a 10. Level 6, you can roll with 2 10. Level 7, you can roll with a 10 and a 12. And then level 8 is as high as it goes, and that is you can roll with 2 12s. So that's getting around the board. And then movement, I think that was on stamina movement, means that if you up that, which you do at the gym, you add 1 to the number you dice. So if you rolled a 10 on the dice, you move 11. You add an extra square. Or if you depending on what, like if you upped it to level 4, then you'd add 4 on it. And then that would be like, here's the properties. So the properties only show the prices of the guns, the ammo, and all this stuff. Building health, because you can damage other people's buildings. The mortgage value. There's certain things you can buy C4. Where is it? You could buy a phone to call the police if someone's shooting at you. And then there's, of course, prison and jail in this game. You can buy chainsaws, pickaxes, drugs that all do different things. So you can buy PCP, adrenaline, meth, GHB. GHB, you smoke it, you take an extra turn. Adrenaline, when you shoot it up on your turn and you attack somebody physically with a sword or a bat or an axe, or your fists or a chainsaw, something like that, it does twice the damage. You can also buy PCP, which you take half the damage in defense. So in response, kind of like magic, in response you can smoke PCP if you have some, and you take half the damage. GHB means when you do that, you remain on the same square. You don't move anywhere. So because the rules are you can only buy one thing one time a turn. Unless it's a gun, you can buy a gun with ammo. And unless the property has a mutant ability called Stockpile, which allows you to buy up to 3 things at that property. You can buy food. There's food places which give you health. Let's see, where's the health sheet? Oh yeah, I put it underneath of the actual game. So this is the health sheet. And everybody starts with 70 health. And then you just put a little piece of paper on here with your name and move it up and down. And then that's one of the ways you can die when you get to 0. Of course, the other way is if you financially go belly up, just like in Monopoly. Sears. So, let me just go to one of these, like medieval dimension. You can buy all kinds of armor. And like right here, Blade Mastery. So level 1, 40, level 2, 105, level 3, $200. So when you buy Blade Mastery, if you're using a sword, an axe, a wakizashi, a katana, a knife, any of that kind of stuff, you deal an additional amount of damage to whatever your damage says on this piece of paper. And of course, if you buy, let's see, where is it? Damn it. Here it is, over here. A bladed weapon, it'll say, like a battle axe, it'll say exactly, well, okay, here's how the attacking works in the game. It's easier with this because with firearms, first you roll to see if you hit them at all. But since with weapons you can't miss at all, since these weapons you always have to be on the same squares. Firearms have a range, so you can shoot, if someone's here, you can shoot a certain amount of squares that way and that way. So with weapons, you just roll to see where you hit them. 1 through 2 is in the legs. 3 through 5 is in the chest, and if you roll a 6, it's in the head with a 6-sided dice. Unless you have whatever weapon you're using is a 3, which is the highest level it can go, in that case you announce where you're hitting them. So you just say, I'm hitting you in the head. And of course you would want to hit somebody where they don't have armor. And you can have armor on just about everywhere on your body in this game. Like you can buy a breastplate. Here you can buy a helmet, a ninja helmet, a ninja armor, motorcycle helmet, a knight helmet. You can also buy stuff like crossbows. Here you can buy gasoline because you can attempt or successfully burn somebody's property down. Molotov cocktails. And of course you buy that at the Conoco. You can buy a Class B license, which means you can legally hold because these guns are illegal. You can't get them just by going in there, and you can buy, on your first way in there, you can buy a shotgun, a bow, you can buy every other weapon except for a rocket launcher. You can also buy a flamethrower, a cold fusion generator, God damn it, and a plasma gun. Here's the C4. This is the remote C4, and then this is the block. And then, of course, you can set bear traps, which are these, on your own property. Bear traps are legal to buy. And then when somebody lands there, they roll to see if they step on it. 1 through 4, they don't step on it. 5 through 6, they step on it. You can also buy landmines, but you have to have connectedness or black market, because landmines are illegal. So anyways, it'll say how much health the weapon has, how much damage it does. So after you've decided where you hit them, it'll say right here, it does this much damage. Torso 4 through 9, head 6 through 12, legs 3 through 5. And then it'll say, okay, if you hit him in the torso, roll a 6-sided dice. 1, 4 damage, 2, 5 damage, 3, 6 damage, 4, 7 damage, and yes, so on. Let's see, where's the firearms? So there's firearms, or terrorism items, melee. Oh, I'll just read these off. Baseball bat, pipe, whip, monkey wrench, hammer, oar, and lance. So you can buy those. Bladed weapons, you can buy a battle axe, broadsword, claymore, golden claymore, hatchet, golden knife, small axe, large axe, pickaxe, scimitar, silver broadsword, throwing spear, wakizashi. Firearms, where is it? Here we go. Legal firearms. 12-gauge shotgun, 30-30, 357 revolver, 44 long slide, 50 Desert Eagle, 50 BMG, 60-pound bow, crossbow, silver crossbow, Derringer, Savage Win Mag 300. This one you can shoot people. Has the biggest range in the game, 6 squares away. So here is first you roll to see. So point blank, that's on the same square. You roll a 20-sided dice. 1 through 16 hit, 17 through 20 miss. Obviously, the farther away you are, the harder it is going to be to hit them. 6 rectangles away, 20-sided die. 1 through 6 hit, 7 through 20 miss. And you can up your firearms level at the shooting range to level 3, of course, which is the max. So, for instance, if you have a firearm skill of 2, it ups 2 on the die roll. So 4 rectangles away, roll a 12-sided die 1 through 5. If you have a 2, it's 1 through 7. So if you roll a 5 and you have a 2, you still hit them. If you roll a 7 with the 12-sided dice, you still hit them. If you roll an 8, though, you'd need a level 3 firearm skill. But if you have a level 3, you announce where you're shooting them. So if you have a level 3, you announce where you're shooting them. And you can buy a Class B firearms license, only if you have a level 3 firearms. And then, just like in Monopoly, you land on places like City Treasury, Luck, Chance, Bad Karma, and then that's these piles here. And my scenarios are really fucked up things that happen. For instance, one of them is you're at a water park and you go down a water slide and somebody who hates you is there, and they have a cordless drill and a deck screw, and they screw a deck screw at 45-degree angle into the water slide right before you go down it in one of those like fast tube slides where you go like this, and you hit the screw, and just imagine how bad that would hurt. Lose 6 health. Another one is like you're walking down the side of the road and someone hangs out of a car going by at 25 miles an hour with a brick in their hand and throws it at you and hits you. Roll the dice to see how much damage it does. Another one is you're walking down the sidewalk again, and someone carrying a flask of hydrochloric acid walks by and real quickly splashes you in the face with it. If you're wearing a motorcycle helmet, your helmet takes the damage, or if you're wearing that's the only helmet really, or if you're wearing a ninja helmet or any other helmet, take half the damage because it still has little eye holes you can still be hit in. So if you're wearing a helmet, you take either no damage or half damage. So it depends on a lot of your armor when you draw these cards for when you land on shit like this. There is also, let's see, what else can I go into? Defense. Defense. So that only applies to melee and bladed weapons. So if somebody hits you with something, if you have defense, it subtracts from the damage. So if they have a strength of 3 and you have a defense of 3 and they're hitting you with a bat, they cancel each other out, and you take whatever the sheet says. There's encumbrance. You carry. That's one thing I didn't go into. Encumbrance, player encumbrance. You keep track of. Here's materia, and I'll talk about the spells here. Player encumbrance. You can start off with 5, and it doesn't subtract it if you're holding on to it, but you have this little piece of paper with your name on it. Here's the currency. I have all the currency. So you keep your stuff right here. It says your name and it's a piece of paper. When you put stuff there, you subtract from here. And this is all the stuff in the game. And pretty much you just look at this sheet and you're like, okay, I have a briefcase. Briefcases add to your encumbrance. So do backpacks, but you have to be wearing it. There's things that add to it. So do trunks, because if you store them as self-storage. If you buy a bird, birds can fly out on the board. Anyone can drop a weapon, like if they need to make room, they can just drop the weapon on the ground and make room for whatever they're carrying. And a bird can retrieve stuff off the board up to level 3 encumbrance heaviness. So if it's heavier than level 3, the bird can't get it. And it can also get stuff for self-storage. If you get a dog, if someone comes up behind you, you have a natural chance to see it coming, an attack coming from behind. You roll to see if you see the attack coming. That would matter if you bought a shield. Of course, you don't roll for that in all instances. If you don't have a shield or something of that stature, then you don't make that roll. But if you have a shield and you see it coming, you can turn around and there's a chance you can block bullets or weapons. And of course, it does full damage to your shield. So that's how that works. And a monkey, it can pickpocket, it can carry stuff for you, and you can try to put it up to pickpocketing somebody, which of course the person can also see coming. And you can up your chances to see it coming with vigilance, which you learn at the Taekwondo dojo. And then there's also bribery, and that means if the cops try to bust you, you can roll to see if you can bribe the cop to not take you to jail. And then, of course, the higher your bribery level, the less you have to pay, and the greater odds of you being able to bribe. So, anyways, let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, wizardry. There's spells in the game. So level 1, 40, level 2, 75, and there's 6 levels of spells. In order to buy any of these, you have to have a wizardry level. In order to have wizardry, you have to pay for it. You can pay for it here or in the park through meditation and practice. Six Flags, there's things that property have, like Six Flags has Vanish, which means if you're afraid, like you don't have a weapon at all, and someone has like a rocket launcher or a plasma gun, something that can do you a lot of damage, you can hide in the park and they can't find you. Or no, Vanish. There's other properties with Hide, which means they can roll a dice to still find you. Vanish, there's no chance. So Vanish is good if you're the hider, if you're the bitch. There's also a spear gun, shoulder pads. Alright, anyways, I was going to go into the spells because I don't have much time. There's so much to explain about this game, but I can only record 30-minute videos. Spells. So I'll start with level 2. So eye for an eye. Somebody does something to you, it does the equal amount of damage to them. Disenchant. Disenchant means enchantments are weapons, things you can hold, armor. So if you disenchant something, that means I disenchant your firearm, I disenchant your shotgun. They take it and it's just, you put it back in the owner. I disenchant your helmet, I disenchant your pet. Counterspell. Somebody plays a spell and you have this, you pay that and you go, oh, I counter that. So their spells, both spells are void. It's pretty much like a fuck you. Discard cards. You class this and be like, if someone else has spells in their hand, you just discard those 2 cards. Gain 4 life. Target opponent reveals hand and you choose a card and discard it. Target spell. Which targets a single creature? Target another creature of your choice instead. The new target must be legal. So, somebody attacks you, you can redirect the damage to, say if you're playing with 4 other people, you can redirect it to somebody else who's not even involved, or you can redirect it back onto them. Flame Rift, 4 damage to each player, that goes for everybody. Prevent up to 5 damage to you. Counterspell, Vicious Hunger, that target opponent loses 2 life and you gain it, so you suck the health off of them pretty much. There's Land Destruction, which means, and those are higher level spells. To destroy land is like level 4. And that's just like, you use it and it destroys a property. And you can use C4, dynamite, powder kegs, which are these, and gasoline to damage properties, but that's basically the only way, other than spells. Destroying somebody's property is really good. It's kind of hard to do because the building health is relatively a lot, but bury target land it's a done deal. It destroys the property unless the property has fortitude. Like the Mint and the Six Flags have that. Very few properties have that. And it means that the property is indestructible. So once you buy it, the only way you're going to lose it is if you mortgage it. So yeah, I'm running out of time here. Even though there's so much more to explain about this game. Oh, the sun's coming up. So yeah, I think I'll make videos here in the future of playing this game. That is, if anybody gives a shit to see this game in action. It's really fun.